So most of the rear suspension is put together. Put the subframe up in the car, got the brake lines mounted as well, and then just for convenience sake, also put the fuel tanks in there. Need to do another video on that guy, just because there's some modifications on the fuel pump hangers that are a little different just because of the motor setup that I've chosen. So rear suspension wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be something as simple as, just putting the bushings in a press, supporting the arms, no big deal, push the bushings out, and move on. But unfortunately, after fighting the front control arms for so much, I didn't want to deal with the same situation on the rears, so I ended up just using fire. Ended up just melting the outside of the bushings. As you can see, I got the outside hot enough to where the rubber started to melt, and then I used the air chisel just to pop them out. That changed the time frame for doing these bushings so much faster. I was able to just melt them out and then just press them out, and then just use a microfiber rag to catch them and then just throw them away. However, on two of the arms, or I believe it was one of the rears and both of the front, the bushing had to be reused. Wasn't expecting that, almost threw them away. Cleaning off the original rubber on the bushings with the lathe. It was just way easier just for me to throw them in the lathe and then just machine them down to, I guess, what would be factory. Shaved off some material, but just enough to get them to fit inside of the polyurethane bushings. The front was actually pretty interesting just because the rear bushing had a flange on it. So having to maneuver the lathe around that was also kind of difficult, but got all the rubber off of it, got them pressed into the arms, and then just kind of straightforward assemble them, lubricate everything, and then also all of the, the dust boots for the ball joints all got replaced as well. Surprisingly, because this car isn't as old as the Miata, you can still get a lot of parts from this car. All the bushing or the boot covers are relatively the same. I think I only needed like 2 part numbers for the rear. The front, there was only 1 because I only did the lower control arm. Yeah, that's kind of the update on the rear suspension. It's for the most part done. It's not fully tightened down because, again, I want to preload the suspension before tightening everything down. Front's the same thing. Just need to probably just paint the knuckles and then move on to the next one, which is going to be the motor.